Gail Namina, welcome back to Monsters Den. Today we're going to be finally going to the second part of One Piece's saga, which is the Baroque Works Saga. And with me today is the one and only Phoenix.
Yep. Hey, what's up?
Uh, so you guys should already know Phoenix, but just to have a little bit of just to reiterate it, Phoenix, how much do you know about One Piece?
I think a good amount, though. I will say I do need like a bit of a refresher since it's a lot of chapters, but I do know like the basic premise of the story arcs.
How much have you kept up with it so far?
I think I stopped reading after a few chapters into hmm, was it New Egg or
Okay,
yeah.
so you're
Yeah, I
at
think I think it was after New Egg.
you're a
Yeah.
little you're an egghead then, I assume.
Yeah.
Gotcha. As for myself, I'm on a slightly similar boat as Phoenix here. So, last time I did the podcast about the East Blue Saga, I just finished reading the first 24 volumes of One Piece, which was the East Blue Saga and the Baroque Works Saga. But since that time, there's been a little bit of a gap where I haven't had One Piece in my mind fresh in there. So my thoughts are going to be a little more scattered, but hopefully now they're a little more grilled now. So I have more clear thoughts. Here's hoping.
Hmm.
All right,
All right.
so Phoenix, let's get started with something a little fun that everyone likes talking about, which is what are your favorite adaptations of Baroque works?
Well, I mean, it's either the manga or or the anime,
It's
but
either of the two. So there is one
yeah.
advantage that the Baroque Works anime has, and this is one we can maybe get into. I mean, there's not much to say. Is that it had Ace uh, be more present. I think they had a few more fillerish episodes that featured Ace,
Mhm.
which kind of helped him feel like he's slightly part of the crew.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least the thing about One Piece is that the fillers don't exactly feel like fillers if you don't really know the manga.
Yeah, but
But
do you have a preference towards the manga or anime when it comes to the Baroque Works saga?
mm, I'd say for Baroque works, I do prefer the anime.
Interesting. All right. I'm inclined to say I might like the manga a little more, but I do see value in the anime, unlike in the East Blue anime, which was kind of
Yeah,
atrocious at points.
yeah. Oh, trust me. There's another arc where the anime is a bit atrocious in its pacing.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll even give it credit. I think One Piece looks like One Piece the most in this saga.
It does. I agree with that.
I think they were still trying to find their footing with East Blue, and
Mhm.
everything. You start to see kind of One Piece fall off a little bit in the animation department when you get to the Skypedia section. Not Skypedia, but more so the Thriller Bark section. Oh my god, the Thriller Bark
Yeah.
looks awful. That arc looks awful in the anime. uh, the brain rot of having to draw Akuma so many times made everyone's proportions look so much worse.
Yeah, but I will say you will be pretty annoyed by the pacing when you get to Dressrosa. I
Oh
will
man,
I will say that.
I've heard a few whispers here and there. Ugh. But
Yeah.
I'm hopefully gonna be sticking to just
Mhm.
manga for now, and maybe I might go back to do anime. But
Yeah. Okay.
anything you want to add?
I don't think I have anything to add at the moment.
Okay. So my next question, which was actually the fun question, I went a little bit out of order. In Baroque works, the whole saga, who's your favorite character? And I think just like the last time, let's mention our favorite Straw Hat and our favorite non-Straw Hat.
Okay.
So, do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I mean, I think my answer was like the same as as the last one, Zoro.
You think it's still Zoro, huh? Because I think
Yeah,
Zoro was very weak in this saga compared to the East Blue saga.
yeah. Though this was like the saga where it starts showing a bit of his flaws.
Uh, Good flaws or bad flaws? You know what I mean?
A bit of both.
Okay. So I kind of have, I guess it's worth bringing up Zoro for me since I'm not going to be talking much about him in Baroque works. Is that Zoro doesn't do much in this saga because compared to the East Blue, where he had so many like opportunities to shine, his introduction, Mihawk in Arlong Park, really in the Bartier as well, and Logtown, like he had so many moments to shine throughout the East Blue that he ended up being my favorite Straw Hat at that point. But I feel in Baroque works, he really takes a seat back in this one, where I feel he's relegated to just kind of being the tough guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of like the second line of defense, so
Yeah, he doesn't really do much besides fight in this one, which is kind of a shame because like back then in East Blue, yes, he did fight, but he also had a lot of character moments, and I think he's lacking those in Baroque works.
yeah. Though, albeit he doesn't really have as much of a stake into it as, say, Vivi or
Yeah,
mostly Vivi actually, since this
yeah.
is like the Vivi arc.
There's some other characters, other Straw Hats that get involved, because I was gonna bring up that my favorite Straw Hat in here, um, I think it might be Nami, because I think we get a little bit of her in this one.
Mhm.
But if we
Yeah,
want to count Vivi, yeah, as you're saying, this is kind of Vivi's moment to shine.
yeah, but she's not a official Straw Hat per se.
Yeah, she's kind of a pseudo one.
Yeah, but I mean, the crew is always would welcome her in if she were to say she wants in on the crew.
Yeah, I think Nami had a lot more to do in this arc or in this saga.
Crew, since it was showing off her navigational skills.
And it also kind of it showed what the crew is out without her. During Drum Island there was kind of a moment where like, well, what do we do without Nami? And you kind of
Yeah.
start to see the hollowness without her, and how, and as you said, Vivi is kind of the main character, but she doesn't really play around with the Straw Hats that much besides Nami.
No, no, I mean, she was like an antagonist in the first arc of the Hourglass
Yeah,
Storm.
in Reverse Mountain.
Yeah.
But yeah, the surprising thing is that even towards the end, where Nami was considered one of the weak characters, which was established in Little Garden, you even see her at the end be useful against Miss Doublefinger. What a weird name.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think Nami really shined in Baroque works.
Yeah. Well, especially in like the especially in the later chapters where she was way out of her league when she was fighting that one character.
Yeah, are you talking about Miss Doublefinger?
Yeah, Miss Doublefinger, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know her name's supposed to be 1-1,
Uh
which is supposed to be
oh
like
wait.
she's technically Miss New Year's, but if you
Mhm.
put two of your fingers up, it's 1-1.
Yeah. I think
It's fucking Oda.
it is, yeah.
Come on.
Well, he's a bit cheeky when it comes to jokes.
That does remind me. It's gonna go a little bit, a bit of a sidetrack, but I guess we are talking about Nami. One of the things I love that Oda mentioned. So in an earlier Ask Oda, he mentions that when a character feels something, he likes to physically show it on his face. So if a character is angry or focused or happy or sad, he shows it while he's drawing. And what I loved is that a couple Ask Odas later, someone asked the questions, "Hey, Mr. Oda, you mentioned that you put in the emotions that your characters put. Do you also do this when Nami is feeling like kind of flirty and sexy?" And he's and the way Oda responds like, "Oh yes, her including. You should ask everyone in the office. I have the sexiest face in here." I love that answer. Uh, but yeah, that's how it relates to Nami. Oof. All right.
Oh man.
So, favorite non-straw hat? That is the question, because I haven't fully
Mm.
thought about my answer myself. Do you have one, Phoenix?
I really like Bon Clay.
Bon Clay's really good answer. Damn, that's such a good answer. I don't know if I got a follow up for that.
Yeah, I mean he's the most colorful, like personality wise, out of the Baroque's works
Yeah,
crew.
he's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tossing a bunch of answers right now. I'm thinking about Doctor Kudaha. Um, I'm
Mm.
thinking about Vivi herself, who did a great job. And as I said, Bon Clay and Ace was pretty cool in the moment. But when I really
Yeah.
think about it, what really drove this arc home? And I think I have to say Crocodile.
Yeah. Well, he is the big bad after all.
I think Crocodile, because other villains did a great job, but man, Crocodile stole this saga.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to, yeah, I think I'm inclined to say Crocodile the more I think about it, which we'll talk about him a lot more in detail later.
Mhm. I mean, he had it all down before the Straw Hats came, so
Yeah, and I think he also just had a really strong presence throughout the arc, where other villains or
yeah.
antagonists just didn't quite have that like he did.
Yeah, that's fair. Since there's like a very implicit thread just having him around.
I think he's name dropped all the way from Whiskey Peaks, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
though as Mr. Zero, not as Crocodile.
Yeah, and when he does show up, it isn't like a flop. He delivers and then some.
Mm,
I'll get to that later. But yeah, I
yeah.
guess it's worth noting to the audience real quick that then where we are with the live action adaptation is that we had the first trailer, but it hasn't been released, so we don't know what that's going to be like in the future. So we're not going to be talking about the Netflix live adaptation if you're seeing this in 2 years or something. I don't know, whatever. But right, do you have anything to add uh, when it comes to favorite characters or adaptations, like the general stuff with Baroque works? Before I move on.
Trying to think of like other favorite characters. It's, I don't know. It's really, I guess it's really hard to have a single favorite character. I mean, have a single favorite character. I'm just messing up my words. Like
As long
to
as you
have
don't
like a
say
best,
something like Karoo, being like, "Oh my god, I love Karoo so much."
yeah, but having like a, but it's just that some of the characters are very strong in this arc. So
Yeah. So what you're gonna see here, and what I'm not gonna try to linger on too much, is that said it before, said it many times, is that one Oda is not great at beginnings and he starts off slow, and that's and Baroque Works is probably pretty much the prime example of he's restarting a saga now, and he's having a lot of not trouble, but like he isn't really making the groundworks for building up the world building in One Piece that exciting, and it doesn't really hit till Alabasta. So in the meantime, I'm gonna warn you guys in the audience there that I'm not gonna talk about too much about anything pre Alabasta because I'm generally just not that excited to talk about it. So
mm.
how about we get into those arcs individually?
All right, so Reverse Mountain.
Reverse Mountain. This was my least favorite arc, bar none. My least favorite arc. I
Well, I
I
will say it didn't. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like I like the moment when it's the transition between East Blue and Baroque Works, which is getting through that mountain. You get to see Nami use her skills and kind of have the tension of the ship not falling apart. I think that part's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
Go ahead.
and it was the first time going through the Calm Belt and seeing all those Sea Kings like pop out all of a sudden and surprising the crew.
Yeah, to establish that the Grand Line is dangerous, I think they did a good job accomplishing that. My only problem is that Laboon is it's not that exciting of a character because it's an animal character.
I see.
But
Yeah,
I do find the moment of Luffy punching Laboon in the eye to be hilarious and everyone reacting like Luffy's a madman, and which they're right.
yeah,
But Other than that moment, once you start going inside Laboon, dude, I snore. I kind of, I don't know. I don't really care what's going on inside Laboon at that point.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a Pinocchio moment, just going inside Lagoon and trying, thinking, getting everyone out.
Yeah.
Though, though it is, though I will say it is like the first time that Going Merry did suffer somewhat substantial damage.
I think that point was interesting.
Yeah,
I think they did a better
I
job of establishing that within the Grand Line itself.
yeah,
Or not the Grand Line, but the passageway. That's what I meant.
passageway. Yeah, yeah.
I know it has a name, but I forgot the name of it. um, and yeah, I think there's an interesting moment here because you get to see Miss Wednesday and Mister Nine, I think it's his name, act like a Team Rocket.
Yeah, since the main reason why they're going after Laboon was for food. I can't remember.
I honestly forgot the reason. I think it might have been a Baroque Works mission, but I completely forgot. But yeah, it's interesting to look back on this arc because it looks kind of silly.
Yeah,
I don't know if you feel that way, but it's 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 a weird point because I might get a little more into this into Whiskey Peaks, but I do feel like Miss Wednesday and Mister Nine feel a little bit out of place here.
oh yeah, oh yeah, Vivi and Mr. Nine were trying to kill Laboon for his mate.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and that part feels a little strange to me.
yeah. Uh, oh yeah, how do you feel about Crocus?
The old man, I mean, I thought he was all right. I think his main purpose is that he's meant to lore drop Goldie Roger,
All right.
but I didn't feel too strongly about him as far as old man character goes. Like I love old man characters, but the thing is, in the East Blue, we already had so much stronger ones, like Zeph. I kind
Mhm.
of find it hard to really like him that much. I don't know. How do you feel about him? Maybe I'm missing something.
Mm, I guess I guess at the beginning when you don't know about the future chapters, he does seem like a senile old man, but wait, you don't really care too much about spoilers, right?
Just to be sure, keep it vague.
Keep it vague.
If you can. If you can't,
Uh,
if you don't, just tell me that stuff will happen in the future with him. He is essential,
yeah.
and I'll get your message.
I mean, I will say though that he's a doctor, so
Okay.
but yeah, and Yuri said that he lore dropped that he knows about Goldie Rogers' crew.
Okay. I think I can put the pieces together of what you're
Yeah.
trying to say. Okay. So yeah, I guess in this arc, in the Laboon arc or Reverse Mountain arc, I didn't feel too strongly about him here. Once
Mhm.
again, it's Oda laying out the groundwork more than anything. I guess it is cool that there is a it's like history it rhymes sort of situation here with Luffy and Goldie Roger. But overall, I don't have much else to say about this arc. It's cool that Nami got a little, I guess, upgrade of herself that isn't related to fighting. I think that's
Mhm.
cool. And Laboon endings is sweet, even though it is kind of weird when I really think about it too hard.
Yeah. Luffy did. Did paint that atrocious symbol
That
on the
will probably
Laboon's
fall off
face.
once he dives in water.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Laboon looks like he's been through a lot, so he could probably tough it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I want to say about Reverse Mountain. Do you have anything else?
Mm, not much. Yeah, it's not the most exciting start to the Alabasta arc, but it's something.
And the Grand Line as a whole.
Yeah.
But oh well. Uh, Whiskey Peaks. I don't know how strongly I feel about this arc. I don't kind of like I think it's a little better than Reverse Mountain, but I still don't love Whiskey Peaks.
No, but it
Um,
is slowly starting to introduce like more members of Baroque works.
that part was good. This feels like the real groundwork of Baroque works, which
Hmm.
again I don't love it when One Piece is in the arc of doing the groundworks, but at least they're finally
Yeah,
getting started, so that's not bad.
yeah,
Uh, I think the celebration stuff is neat.
yeah. And then there's Zoro having his moment, just taking out a bunch of bounty hunters.
Oh yeah, this was his moment to aura farm.
Yeah,
Bro soloed an entire town. Truly, Zoro power scaling only goes up from here.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I loved how when they got into Whiskey Peaks and they were throwing that fake celebration of theirs. I do like it that you got to see how each Straw Hat internalizes that.
mhm,
You know, Sanji getting with a bunch of women, Nami trying to outdrink the men, Luffy being gluttonous as he usually is. You know, that stuff was
yeah.
neat. And Usopp throwing up those stories. It was a cool moment of characterization that I liked. Um,
I forget if Luffy and oh wait, if Luffy and Zoro fighting was like an anime only, or it was also a manga.
it was more drawn out in the anime. There
Ah,
was some tension in the manga, and they did, I guess, try to throw punches at each other, but it wasn't as long as in the anime.
all right.
So yeah, once Zoro is soloing an entire town, you get probably one of the best scenes in the anime, which is Zoro screaming Luffy as Luffy is about to fucking squash him.
Hmm.
Have you seen that clip?
Oh yeah, that was like the poor kid's dub where Zoro was looked really happy at. I mean, seeing Luffy arriving.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but it really did feel like it came from the soul when he was yelling Luffy.
it's so strange because I've seen the entire clip like span out to about 40 seconds. Every voice actor is so stiff. Zoro's voice actor is all right, but there's so much of the dub is actually like really really stiff, and you get this one moment where Zoro is screaming his lungs out.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's so hilarious to me.
but yeah, but it's funny seeing Luffy misunderstand the situation that Zoro just beat up everyone that gave them a party.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
And then you get the one scene that apparently I've heard has been haunting power scalers to this day, which is Nami punching both Luffy and Zoro at once and knocking them out. Done to comedic effect, but that has done irreparable damage to One Piece theorists.
Yeah, nah, but hey, that the comedy power surpasses any type of power in One Piece.
Okay, but what if this is a comedy moment that Oda is just like winking you at? What if we find out later that Nami Gear 7 exists with hockey?
I don't,
You know?
I don't know.
she,
Yeah,
Nami actually has commander's hockey or whatever.
Conqueror's Hockey.
Conquerors, thank you. Conquerors
Yeah,
hockey.
probably. I mean,
uh,
it was also brought up as a joke later on with Jinbei.
this is what I mean. Like, is 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 Oda hinting it, or is this just a joke? And now,
It's a yeah, it's a joke.
let's hope so. Here's hoping.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing about hockey is that you gotta be strong in spirit. So,
Well, let's see what happens with Nami down the line.
yeah.
But you know, that moment was for good comedic effect.
Mhm.
So I think what else happens in this arc is they find Miss Sunday tries to uh not get attacked by the Straw Hats, and she has these weird hypnotizing powers that never get brought up again. But whatever, I don't know. Um, and I think it's Mister Five and what's her name again? Is it Golden Week? No, I think Golden Week's someone
Uh,
else.
no, Golden Week is the one with the
Valentine.
umbrella.
Valentine's the one with the umbrella. Golden Week is a little girl.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I keep on mixing them up. Oh, well, I'm a fraud.
dude, these names get jumbled here. But yes, Miss Valentine and Mr. Five come to Whiskey Peaks to hunt down the spies, which uh, we assume might be Miss Sunday, or not Miss Sunday, Miss Wednesday here. But
Hmm.
it turns out that technically this entire town is actually a spy for it.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah, it does show like how much influence Baroque works has over its influence.
yeah. So you get that really weird reveal that I want to bring up, which is you see how Vivi is drawn in Reverse Mountain and in Whiskey Peaks, like pre Mr. Five, where she has kind of
Yeah,
sharper design, and then suddenly she just flips
off
like a
cut.
different character once that hair comes down.
Yeah, like the moment that the disguise is coming down and she might be warming up to be another ally or buddy.
Yeah, it's a little off-putting just how quickly it happens. I don't know. How do you feel about it? Do you think it was done well, or enlighten me here?
I thought I thought it was a bit sudden,
So that's what I thought too.
but
I've heard interviews where Oda didn't originally plan for Vivi to be a princess. He didn't
mhm.
give too much detail beyond that, but it does really make me question where I think there was never meant to be a Vivi, just a Miss Wednesday.
Yeah,
And I
though
almost theorized with like Mr. Nine's design. I wonder if Oda had the idea of making a royal character and he was thinking it was going to be Mr. Nine, but somewhere along the way he kind of changed course.
maybe though I kind of get the princess idea since if it weren't for that background, she would turn out to be to have like a similar start with Nami, where
Yeah.
they're both like tricksters and just hounding the crew, but slowly warm up to them.
Yeah. I mean, like this is one of the moments where I feel like Oda didn't really have it planned out. He just kind of put Vivi in here in the wind.
Hmm.
Um but as you said, the I think making her a princess was better than if she just joined the crew as a Baroque Works agent. Because you're right, it would have been just like Nami. But yeah, I'll get more into Vivi later. I just have some weird like dissociation with her reveal because it doesn't feel very organic to me when she does join the crew and how she flops as a character from kind of cold and cunning to um
More
I don't want to use the
feminine.
word Mary Sue, but definitely kind of like princessy. Yeah, she's very princessy.
Yeah.
I kind of wish she kept a little bit of the cunning stuff, but I don't know. I don't know how to write Otis characters. That's his job.
Mm.
How'd you feel about Mr. Five though, Mr. fucking Booger Man?
Mr. Five. Um, well, I think his design was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what he reminds me of? I don't know him very well, but he reminds me of one of the admirals, at least in like
Mm.
design.
Oh, wait, which admiral you're talking about?
The one with the ice powers.
Oh, Aokiji.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him in like vibes, but not as cool.
Somewhat. I mean, he's a bit more rugged, but he looks a lot more tense looking than Aokiji.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. I thought Mr. Five, because of his higher number, I thought he was gonna be like way tougher, but he ends
Uh-huh.
up getting easily fucking overpowered by Zoro and Luffy.
Yeah. Though, albeit he did get jumped by two main characters at once.
Yeah, it kind of just shows how easily Luffy and Zoro can kind of steamroll most characters up until like way later, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they really don't have any tension until maybe like unless it's like a main antagonist. they don't really have trouble with the people on the way. I've noticed,
Mhm.
but that's neither here or there. And then Miss Sunday gets a lore drop being like, "I exist. You don't know if I'm good or bad. See ya.
Yep.
Bye. Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
Uh, so not much to say about Miss Sunday other than that moment. Do you have anything
Mhm.
to add to Whiskey Peaks?
Not too much on Whiskey Peaks.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is a Little Garden, and I think this is probably my second favorite arc in the saga, but I don't love it because I
No, but it did introduce the giants as a race.
and I think I really like Broggy and Dory.
And Dory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like those two. I think they're cool. I
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with the philosophy that Oda was trying to write down, saying that because they live more longer, they live more recklessly. I feel that would be the opposite, but it's kind of an interesting view that Oda has about lifespan and what it means to kind of
Like,
burn it the longer you live.
yeah. I think I think it's also like it depends on characters who have different goals in mind or different ways of life.
Yeah.
Since you pretty much have the Vikings here here living their life just beating the shit out of each other.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can really feel that Oda loves these characters, which really makes sense because Oda has mentioned that even though he loves pirates, the second thing he grew up with a lot was Vikings, which are kind of
Yeah.
like northern pirates really when we think about it. And you can kind of see the passion here where like he wanted to cross over these two and really
Hmm.
meld their cultures and their passions and whatnot. So I think it's cool that he finally got the chance to show that passion off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh, so yeah, the fight between Dory and Broggy for 100 years. That part is really cool,
Hmm.
and especially how their arcs conclude towards Little Garden and how those characters develop. What I don't like is Mister Three and his stupid fucking wax candle arc. I don't know. Do you like it,
Yeah.
or am I missing something?
Yeah, I do like how his powers work. Where
How did they work again?
oh, pretty much he just produces like a ton of wax and manipulates them.
I guess there's some
They're
flexibility
safe.
there.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Though it
hmm.
though it definitely did show like one of Zoro's dumb and reckless moments where he tries to cut off his own legs just to get to Mr. Three.
Hey man, desperate times call for desperate measures. I get Zoro.
Yeah.
If no one was gonna save you, you gotta do something.
Mhm.
um, what do you call it? I thought Miss Golden Week's power were kind of interesting. Where like whatever she writes down, it affects the person that is kind of drawn by the mark. She's kind of a
Mhm.
rune maker, which I thought was really cool. But I don't think Miss Golden Week shows up that much beyond this arc.
Mm, not too much.
But I don't know. But yeah, this was pretty much the most dire arc where you see. I think this is the closest I've seen the Straw Hats to kind of all having a game over, essentially.
Yeah. Though
Luckily, Sanji was out in the periphery talking mad shit to Crocodile. Well, he wasn't talking mad shit, but he was just lying through his teeth.
hmm,
Um, Sanji gets a lot of setup in this saga. I've noticed where he kind of gets a build up to not being in the vision of Crocodile, which is kind of interesting.
yeah, though hard to say like how much notoriety the Straw Hat crew had before. I mean, before the Alabasta arc, like how much they're well known to
Not much in
everyone
the
who's
Grand
gone around.
Line.
Yeah, well, not yet, of course.
The only people that should know like them in the Grand Line should be the Marines,
Yeah.
but we don't really see the Marines until Alabasta. So
Hmm. Oh yeah, with Smoker.
yes, there you go. But yeah, no, I really like how Broggy's and Dory's like arc kind of ends, where you see why the island is like that, and that's because they were basically they had a who had the biggest meat competition.
Hmm.
So you see
Though
like,
100,
hmm.
yeah, 100 years is definitely like a long time for having a dick measuring
Yeah.
contest.
Look, man, it's very important to them. But it was kind of cool seeing that like Dory was not Dory, Broggy was so determined to take down Dory,
Hmm.
and when he finally does, he kind of feels a hollowness like
Yeah.
inside.
Though, though he also wants it to be fair. It's not like that moment where was Dory or Broggy that ate the meat with the bomb in it.
Oh, who was it? Got it. Good question.
Yeah,
One of them did.
yeah, because I know that they want it to be fair.
I like the one who was handicapped was Dory.
Yeah.
I remember that. I don't know who ate the bomb though. But while you check that, um, I really liked it because it kind of showed a little bit of philosophy towards the end there,
Mhm.
because it's you start to think it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because now that Dory is gone, what does Broggy kind of do? Even if they did have this like rivalry about fighting and
Mhm.
it being on site, it did kind of give Broggy his meaning of life.
Yeah. They did have a role in the future. I will say that.
I do know there's a giant island, and I'm gonna assume they show up in some way or
Yeah,
form. So
in some way, yeah. But let's say that they both joined a certain person's crew, and I'll leave it at that.
I can take a guess, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. I mean, you could take a guess right now, and
For the
I.
audience, I'm gonna leave it vague. For them, wink.
Okay, okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Um, but yeah,
Oh wait, it wasn't meat. It was like a drink that got spiked with a bomb.
yeah, that's right. I think it was something like that. And then Dory assumed it was Luffy. Right, 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 right.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I think Little Garden's also nice because you get to see a little bit of Vivi, but I don't think this is where she really started seeing her much as a Straw Hat. I think that's the next arc, which I guess we can get into unless you have something else to say about Little Garden. I like this arc. That's really all
Mhm.
I can say about it.
Did you know also notice one thing about Little Garden at the end?
What did I miss?
Do you remember Usopp's lies?
What was the lie again?
Uh, I think one of the lies was there's fish that can whose poop is as large as an island.
Oh, they were foreshadowing that, weren't they?
Yeah,
Damn. I think I forgot about that. That's so good. That's
I
great.
mean they did. Yeah, they did come across a giant goldfish whose poop is as large as an island.
Well, one day those lies will be real.
Yep.
Maybe that's the foreshadowing to Usopp, because in back in Syrup Village, he said pirates are here, and that was a lie.
Yeah.
But then it became the truth.
Well, that's two, two for two.
Is Usopp spoiling the entire show, and it's been right in front of our faces this entire time? Lore beards, get on it. Look into Usopp's lies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you gotta wonder what other lie he has in mind.
His biggest lie is that uh he isn't useful to the crew.
Hmm.
uh
It's true. It's true to a certain extent.
I think he's useful.
Cause yeah, but you could either like keep check on Usopp's list of lies or just not and just go on with the story.
That's fair.
I mean, it depends on how interested you are in seeing which whatever Usopp says is true.
That'd be an interesting thing to keep up with.
Hmm.
But yeah, do you have anything else to comment on Little Garden?
Yeah. No, I think we've gone over most of what we want to talk about.
All right, cool. Next arc. Nami got bitten by a bug back in Little Garden, and now she got sick. And the entire arc is pretty much based around getting her to a doctor.
Yep, and the introduction of the new Straw Hat.
Yeah. Vivi. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Vivi actually got a little more to do here, which I think is why this is when Vivi started actually feeling a little bit more like a Straw Hat.
Yeah.
You know, the scene where they reach Drum Island and they Luffy is kind of intent on being like, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna go through here whether you like it or not. Meanwhile, Vivi is kind of calling out Luffy, saying, "You're a shit captain if you can't make these decisions correctly by provoking shit." And it's kind of crazy that like Vivi butt heads with Luffy, which no one has really done to that extent.
No, because usually they see Luffy do some dumb shit. It's like, oh, you.
Yeah,
But
or they get used to it.
yeah, they got used to it. So
But seeing Vivi kind of just say like, "Luffy, you are doing shit wrong." The only other person who has told this to Luffy beforehand is Shanks. And to finally see this kind of come back is really, really cool. I know about a few spoilers. You're gonna see more of that later, but it's I think this is where you start seeing Vivi establish her dynamics.
Yeah.
This is where you start to see her get more attached to Nami, where you see kind of her dumb shenanigans with Usopp, as I posted a picture here of her grabbing his nose and eventually slapping him where his face looks like a fucking big mush of balls. And this is where you start seeing the nickname Mr. Bushido be used more often from Vivi. Like you're starting to see Vivi actually be part of the Straw Hats, which is cool.
Yeah, but she's still like enough of an outsider to where she doesn't have like a positive bias to let things go with Luffy or the crew.
Yeah, yeah, it could have been cool if she kept going, but I think in this arc, this is where Vivi is starting to really shine and come to her own. So, it's kind of funny because I don't remember Chopper being this like, what do you call it? Like his introduction scene isn't that strong. He kind of just shows up as like Dr. Kuda has companion.
Yeah, assistant, since he was very shy at the beginning.
Yeah, and I kind of think back to the original 5 Straw Hats, and they all had like a pretty like, this looks like a main ass character. You know what I mean? Like they look important. But Chopper felt a little sidelined until like the light slowly was starting to shine on him. And
since Chopper does have like mascot character energy, so not exactly like main character energy.
Yeah. And then once you start seeing the backstory to Chopper, I actually got really invested in the story.
Yeah.
I think Chopper has I'm inclined to say one of the better halves when it comes to backstories.
I mean, he does feel like very lonely considering that he was ostracized from his families ever since he ate that devil fruit.
And then hunted by humans. And then taken by Hitalock. And then there's a bunch of stuff that happens with the Hitalock when it comes to medical stuff. Getting the mushroom and, seeing him poison, going with Kudaha. Like Chopper goes through a lot of phases in just a few years. Like, I think the only other person that's gone through this many phases of their life has been Sanji. And maybe Luffy too, but
probably, but to a lesser degree, of course.
Yeah.
Though I will say though that Chopper was completely fooled by the Doctor when he was talking about how exciting a pirate is, and he mistook the poison label as a pirate symbol. He was like, "Oh, this is good.
Yeah,
I should give it to the Doctor."
Man.
Yeah. Oh no, he straight up poisoned the Doctor without knowing it.
Poor Chopper. But yeah, I love Chopper. I think he was great in Drum Island, and I'll get more into him a little later because he had more of his stuff comes up towards the end of the arc. The beginning, he's just kind of Kuroha's assistant.
Yeah.
So we as Luffy is trying to get Nami to safety, and eventually Sanji tries to, but he gets knocked out. So now Luffy has to carry both Sanji and Nami. Holy crap! That scene of him scaling the mountain is crazy.
It was, yeah.
Oh my
Because
god!
yeah, definitely this arc definitely shows you the lengths Luffy would go to saving his friends.
When I saw those knuckles bleeding, I was feeling it.
Yeah.
I felt it in my bones.
Ooh.
Oh,
But on another note, how do you feel about the big bad in this arc?
I hate Wapol. I think he's like not even love hate. I just don't like Wapol. I think he
No,
sucks ass.
I mean he is meant to be like a shitty king who's very selfish. So
I don't know,
I can't
man.
really.
Tell me on him. Do you like love hate him?
I think he's silly, but I don't think he's like a good character per se. He does feel he does fulfill his role though.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel even in fulfilling his role, he never even felt that threatening. That was my biggest problem with Wapol is that
No.
in the beginning of this arc, I guess I forgot to mention this. Before they land on Drum Island, Wapol shows up and tries to eat Luffy's ship, the Go Mary, and
Yeah.
he just gets his ass whooped. Like not even like it's a joke. There's nothing that really happens with tension regarding him, and for him to the twist being I'm actually the main villain when we already saw his ass kicked. It's kind of like, dude, whatever, get out of here.
Yeah, no, it's like his main power is just his influence in Drum Island, and it's not like anyone else has the power to fight him besides Straw Hats.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where like, okay, is any of the Straw Hats gonna show up to just kick his ass already? Because I don't know. I felt him. I think introducing him early was kind of a mistake. At least like already kicking his ass so early was kind of a mistake. But I don't know. I thought it was funny how his power is fucking eating things. I think that part's kind of cool. But I don't know, man. When I compare him to Buggy, he's kind of I don't know, a downer.
I guess like he doesn't really have that much of a colorful personality compared to Buggy.
Or threatening or anything. Like compared to like if you just replace Wapol with Buggy, Buggy would have been more effective.
Yeah. Though then again, it doesn't seem like Walpole was portrayed to be a fighter anyways.
It doesn't seem so. And I guess that is
No.
the most interesting thing about Wapol is what they do with Vivi, and that's kind of contrast him what a bad king does compared to like a good queen, I suppose, a good leader.
Yeah. Yeah, like a good noble or royalty.
Yeah, like Wapol established a couple of world building things, which was good, but in the moment, Wapol sucks. I
Yeah.
wanted his fight to be done and done. I mean, that's how I felt about Wapol.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why I don't like
So
Drum Island. I think he brought the entire arc down, in my opinion. But what else is in Drum Island? Like Chopper, Dr. Hutka, Dr. Hitalock. I think they're all really cool.
yeah, so well, I guess you can't really hit hit the mark on with every villain out there.
No. And this is, I've kind of mentioned, my problem with Baroque works is that
Hmm.
most of the antagonists kind of suck here until you really get the banger that is Crocodile.
Yeah, Crocodile and Mr. One.
And Mr. One. I think Crocodile is way stronger that department, but
Yeah,
I'll get to them real soon.
yeah, but Mr. One definitely fills the role of the right hand goon.
Even though it's technically supposed to be Miss Sunday, but you're right. He
Miss
does
Sunday,
he,
yeah.
he does kind of have that more of the second hand goon sort of vibe.
Yeah, yeah. Until you realize that Miss Sunday was fooling them all along.
It was me, Austin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I should mention like I really love Dr. Kudaha in this arc. I think she's so like charming, and she's so charismatic.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's those old people in One Piece. They're like one of the strongest characters personality wise.
They really are. I think it's that idea that like Oda sees old people and he sees that they don't give a fuck. And in
Yeah.
One Piece, which is supposed to be about like a world about not giving a fuck, Oda kind of really pumps it all into the old people.
Yeah, since I think with how Oda writes old people is that he already writes them like they're already developed, so like they already lived through their story, so he knows what to do with them.
Yeah, especially with someone like Dr. Kudaha, who's 139 years old.
Yeah, hey, she's a doctor. She knows what what to do.
I saw a slight tangent. I saw that people really wanted Jamie Lee Curtis to play Dr. Kudaha, but it's kind of a shame because she would have been
Mhm.
so perfect as it, and someone else got the role.
Yeah,
I'm like,
damn,
damn.
damn. Who else got the role for for Dr. Kuya?
I forgot who it was. She looks good, like a good fit, but like Jamie Lee Curtis said she was interested, and it sucks that she didn't get it.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, because it's like she's old enough to to fill that role. I mean, she's 66 years old, man. So
Jamie Lee Curtis is also has like she has the old face, but a young woman's
yeah,
body.
yeah,
And I'm like, that's it. That's Dr. Kudaha. But I'm like,
mm,
fuck, no.
yeah.
You guys almost got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's all right.
Mhm.
It's probably
Yeah,
they probably are gonna have a good. She's probably gonna do well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's if like the cast is also vetted by Oda too, but I don't know about that.
I'm not entirely sure. So far, the casting looks good for, in my opinion, but that's gonna be a
Yeah,
tangent.
yeah.
Um, I also really love Chopper's quirk of hiding things incorrectly or being hidden, trying to hide incorrectly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah,
hmm,
like his horns pop out.
well, he thinks hiding is just putting like 1/10 of your face in the wall, but not the
Mhm.
opposite of mostly hiding your body while only peeking your eye out. Kind of like the picture here where he's trying to
Oh
hide,
yeah.
but it's so goofy.
Oh yeah, at the beginning.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. But
Hmm.
yeah, the end to Chopper's arc is also pretty sweet as well, even though this image has been ruined by the internet.
Oh yeah, the One Piece is real.
Cut to Chopper crying every time.
Yeah.
Or if you're really a degenerate,
I mean, yeah,
make the
the
edit
end.
on Chopper. If you really
Yeah.
want to go that far.
Well, yeah, either that is gonna be that shadow over him, or him having that edit.
uh, but yeah, no, it's
But I don't know. I think that Whitebeard has been ruined more by the edit than Chopper.
oh yeah, oh yeah, 100% right. Dear Lord. But yeah, seeing those cherry blossoms at the very end was cool because this is I think it was supposed to be like ever healing tree or whatever.
Hmm.
I forgot the exact semantics of it, but yeah, that was sweet. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Kind of seeing that like now people don't need Chopper in Drum Island.
Hmm.
Chopper can now go on his journey and kind of not be afraid to do the things he wants. Which I
Yeah.
guess that
I
was also
mean,
Chopper's arc is listening to others but not doing exactly what he wants.
hmm and then Drum Island's gonna be fine. They got Dr. Kureha.
Yeah, yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah.
For as much as she offers her services.
Hmm.
But yeah, Drum
But hey,
Island. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say yeah, she's a good doctor, but you can go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think Drum Island has a lot of cool things in it, but I think
Mm.
what Paul drags it down the arc down, in my
Yeah.
opinion. If
Yeah,
people
but he does have like
hmm.
I was gonna say, but he does have like a few surprising roles in the future.
I have seen a few things here and there, and I expect them to show up.
Yeah.
So I'll see how that goes. But yeah, Drum Island has a lot of cool things about it, but if you can get over the fact or not even care, maybe even like Wapol, I can see people liking this arc a lot. But
Mm.
yeah, that's it for Drum Island. Do you have anything else to say before we get into the the mega arc here?
Big arc. Not not much actually.
All right. All right. With that said, let's move on. So I had to break down Alabasta into 3 parts because by far this is the longest arc so far. Nothing has reached the lengths that Alabasta has reached
Yeah.
to this point. And man, how do I even start with this arc?
It's hard to say. Because like there's Vivi's background, there's introduction of Ace, and the rest of the Baroque sport crew.
Yeah, there's so much that goes on here. I guess I can
Yeah.
add by saying that this you're my I could tell this was gonna be an ambitious arc for Oda at this state of his mangaka career because this is the first time I seen in the previews where Oda is really trying to world build an organization, and you start seeing the charts all over the beginning and endings of the volumes.
Yeah. Would you say that the Alabasta arc is his breakthrough into story, into being like a good storyteller?
I would argue that's earlier. I think Arlong Park did that for me.
Okay.
I think people might say this, but um, I think as a shonen, Arlong Park was the breakthrough in it being a good shonen. But what makes it a good story, I think, is Alabasta. I think you're right about that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like it's more like it's setting its place or its reputation here.
Yeah, as not just a good shonen, but one of the greatest anime.
Interesting. Oh, interesting that you would say that for an anime.
I mean, nothing is really like One Piece so far. And
Mhm.
it sounds like even though it has, One Piece has its lows, some of its highs can get really really fucking good. And like I'm someone that has reached Alabasta, which is considered one of the best early arcs. But what people have said that even though Alabasta is a great arc, people still love Marineford more,
Yeah.
which
I
is
mean, it's the
insane.
culmination of every single story in One Piece converging into a single place.
Yeah. So for me to already like Alabasta and to hear that it gets better with Marineford, I can only imagine really how good that gets.
Hmm.
Now, like that being said, I still really love Logtown, as I've mentioned in the my last podcast, because it's a very nice condensed part of what I love everything about One Piece and what it kind of offers and what it did. Um, Alabasta is my second favorite arc, and that's
All
great
right.
because like even though Locktown is a really nice condensed piece that I love, Alabasta is an experience, something I can actually talk and share about a lot more compared to Locktown. So yeah, with that due, let me just actually start out instead of just talking about what happens in Alabasta immediately. Let me just draw out what it looks like because in here one of the things you start seeing Oda play with is factions, and not just the Straw Hats versus whoever. You're seeing multiple factions converging into once because you see the Straw Hats, which are their own crew. The Marines are in here looking for
Yep.
Luffy, specifically Smoker. So there's a specific branch of the Marines. You see Crocodile and Baroque Works trying to set up their plan. The all with the rebels of I think his name is Koda.
Yeah.
Koda and the rebels are all like also having their own agenda here to try to overtake the king. So you're seeing these 5 different factions all are trying to
Oh,
meld
wait, you
into
didn't
each
mention the
other.
fifth one.
What's up?
Oh, you didn't mention the fifth one.
Oh, the civilians. Sorry, the civilians and King Neferi. My
All
bad.
right.
Is that his name? Neferi?
Nefertari.
Nefertari. Yeah, and King Nefertari and the civilians also play in addition to this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least it's a good thing you didn't include Ace, since Ace was doing his own thing rather than work than being Alabasta.
All right. As strong as Ace is, he is not his entire faction.
No, no. I mean, but to be fair, he is the second division captain.
I guess he has. Yeah, I guess he is powerful in
He-
that regard.
yeah, and plus Logia user too. So
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, his it's very weird, right? Because in the anime, you get a little more time to simmer down with Ace and Luffy's relationship,
yeah.
which I think is what people really love the most. But
Yeah.
in the manga, man, he basically shows up, says, "Yo, I'm gonna name drop Whitebeard," and then dips.
Yep.
That was
But
that
yeah,
was it.
but the anime did expand upon Ace's role in the story.
I think that's the one update the anime had.
Yeah, especially when he took out like a entire fleet of Baroque work ship.
Yeah, and also it gave us that amazing handshake.
Yeah.
uh, it was cool that also kind of like Smoker knew of Ace and how they were all fighting within the bar. Like that was all really awesome as well.
Hmm.
And it
Yeah.
already showed tension in Alabasta,
Uh,
where like even though this is Vivi's homeland, there's no time to stop because now there's something chasing us. We can't
yeah.
stay in this town.
Oh, definitely. Though it is pretty interesting to know that Ace's powers and Smoker's powers, they can't exactly win against each other. The best they could do is just force like a stalemate.
Yeah, in a way, because Ace is usually not trying to fight Smoker. It's usually Smoker trying to capture Ace. Ace kind of wins
Yeah.
because he's not captured.
Yeah.
It,
But it's just that the fire and smoke powers can't exactly overpower each other, so they're just about like equals in some ways.
it's all gas. Yeah, Ace.
Yeah.
They can both kind of counter each other.
Yeah. So like they both could counter each other, but they can't exactly overpower each other.
Exactly. Um.
Uh,
So yeah, with all those stuff established, before even you get to that, we get Bon Clay, which is interesting because he's
yeah.
just like some schmuck that shows up on Luffy's boat for some reason.
Yeah, like he's acting like well, he's just having like the time of his life on the boat.
Yeah, he seems cool, and that's all we really get as the audience member. Like, oh, he seems like a nice
Yeah.
guy. Only it's later to find out, oh, that's Mister Two.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny when he was showing off his powers. Well, I think this was in the anime where he just turns into Nami. It's like, oh, I can change my face plus my body too, and then he just flashes the crew.
Yeah, I remember that. It's Sanji not around, which was a key moment or a key
Yeah,
detail for later.
yeah. Oh, definitely.
Um, but yeah, that that part was something.
It was. He had like a very strong start as a character right
Yeah,
there.
but yeah. Again, even as Oda is laying all this groundwork for Alabasta, I think it's pretty decent groundwork because you're seeing some new ideas and entertainment come along the way as well.
Hmm.
So let's talk about the next character that people don't talk about a lot, and that's the Alabasta Desert itself, which I remember this kind of having a bit of a presence in my mind when I think about Alabasta. Um, Eventually, you get these smug fucking birds that you're seeing here drink up the crew's water like a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, but it does kind of show a point to how scarce water is in the area.
Yeah, they did a really good job establishing that. And because they're being driven out of town, they never really had a good time to get in supply, and the Marines are looking for them. So now the Straw Hats are put into a resource corner, which is kind of new for them.
Hmm.
And this is where you start seeing how expansive this desert feels, as opposed to the expansive ocean we've seen previously. In some ways, it kind of reminds me of the themes of Sanji's backstory of being stuck in the island with no resources.
Yeah, it does have like it is like a bit of an analog to that.
Yeah, and how it like surviving the desert heat is as important to surviving the desert cold. And I think this is the very first time as a kid when I was watching the anime when I realized deserts could get cold.
Yeah. Oh no, because there's nothing there to keep the heat, so it gets cold
Yeah,
really.
I didn't know that as a kid. I mean, I was like, I don't know, 7 when this aired or something. But like to
Yeah,
know that
that's
like what deserts get cold? What do you mean?
yeah. I mean, you wouldn't think that you associate cold with
Hmm.
snowy areas, so it's easy to misconstrue that when you're like a kid.
Yeah. So yeah, it was kind of cool seeing that, and I always remember how cool the sunset moments were in the Alabasta Desert. Just the way the wind and everything like had the vibe. I think, man, the anime did a really good job portraying Alabasta.
It
Once
did,
again,
yeah.
kind of going back to how this is probably the best looking arc.
Hmm.
Uh, but as the crew is struggling with keeping that resource grind, you also get to see the Spider Cafe, which is where all the Baroque agents are kind of meeting, with the exception of Miss Sunday. Maybe Miss Sunday showed up, but Mr. Zero is not there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool seeing all the dynamics. Like, you're immediately getting introduced to all the villains at once and what their stakes are and what their personality are. You're seeing all those pieces already come into play. It kind of reminds me how Bleach introduced their captains in the Soul Society arc. They're doing the same here with One Piece. Like, here are all your bad guys, and kind of how you want to plan that out in your head.
Yeah, though it is kind of funny since we've already been introduced to most of them before that moment, unlike Bleach.
Yes, that's true. Except for the big one, which is Mr. One and Miss
Yeah,
Doublefinger.
yeah.
And it's kind of funny because you see that Crocodile or Mr. Zero was very insistent on, like, all the misters are male and they need a female second hand or a companion or whatever, right? Except
Hmm.
except Mr. Two, who was just like, nah, I don't need one.
He's built different.
I'm built different. I only need me. Uh and that's hilarious to me that Bonkley is Mr. Two. So he can pretty much beat most of the Baroque works, with Mr.
Yeah.
One being the only wall between him and Mr. Zero.
Oh, oh, technically, Mr. Two can become both male or female thanks to his powers.
Yeah, true. But yeah, seeing that, like, all the Baroque agents don't get along and maybe some are more okay with each other, I thought that was kind of interesting. Seeing that
Hmm.
dynamic go
Yeah.
between them. Um, this arc goes on later, and they see that even though Vivi's plan was to get to a town to resupply, they see that that town is apparently torn down, or because they didn't have the food there to kind of establish themselves, because they were lacking rain. And now you start seeing a plot point within Alabasta is this place is drying up. And I'll get to that analog later, but this little point builds up later. And where you first start seeing it build up is with Koda's dad. What was he called again? Hold on, let me look him up. What was his name? Toto. That was his name. And the son's name is Koza. My bad.
Oh, all right.
Yes, so Toto gets established as a character. And one of the first things that Vivi says is, "What? Whoa! It's good to see you, but wow, you look different. What happened? You look slimmer." And when
Hmm.
you kind of get that flashback, it really like drives the point home of how starving Alabasta is. Because bro was chubby beforehand, but now he looks like he's skin and bones.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Especially since what happened to Alabasta was was attributed to what Baroque's works did to it.
Yeah. But yeah, this is where you start seeing the flashback with Koza and Vivi and how she kind of was as a person. And this made me kind of appreciate Vivi more because it showed that, like, even though she was a princess, she was kind of willing to throw down.
Hmm.
And I thought that was kind of a cool trait to have, I guess, as a princess. And the arc that Kid Koza and Kid Vivi go through, which is like, hey, you may be royalty and you may be a civilian. We still kind of need each other and we got to get each other's backs. I thought that was a really cool arc for them as kids.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Uh, Now where you see the present, where Koza Koza is he's a changed man now, thanks to society
Hmm. And starvation.
and starvation. Uh, but yeah, that's the first part of Alabasta. So you move on to the next part of Alabasta, and now they have a goal in mind. now all the groundwork for Alabasta has been laid out. They eventually make their way to, I forgot the capital of Alabasta, wherever Rain Diners are. Rain, I think that's the casino's name, right?
Rangers. Hold on, let me check on that.
I think it is Rain Diners. I'm gonna also double check on that.
Yes. Rain Dinners.
Rain Dinners Casino. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit cheeky on the name there.
So, this is the second part of Alabasta, and this is essentially mostly in the casino and Rain Dinners, and Crocodile's like plan goes into motion. That's kind of what this, I guess, part 2 of Alabasta is. Do you have any strong feelings on this arc that jump out at you that you maybe want to mention?
Well, aside from Crocodile having no idea who Sanji is.
Yes, that's right. So there was what was he, like a mole or something that already knew the identity of like Nami, Luffy, and Zoro because of back in Whiskey Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
And Usopp eventually got found out due to Mr. 3 and also Bon Clay. Which they also knew Chopper as well at that point. So it was really cool that Sanji kind of had a little bit of an extra unintentional edge compared to everyone else.
Yeah, it's kind of funny seeing Crocodile having everything planned out and trying to do everything right, which he did. It's just that he didn't account for Sanji.
That was really the only ticket, right?
Yeah. Because when you think about it, Crocodile did everything right until that one factor that he didn't account for.
Yeah. I guess this is a good time to talk about Crocodile and him as a character.
Yeah.
So, what I really like about Crocodile is that he loves playing with his food and he's good at it. Because so many times you get a moment where like a villain, gets too cocky, and then the main characters or the protagonists take advantage of that, and then they lose. What I love about Crocodile is that he has that moment where he dangles the keys in front of you. Not this exact moment, but like metaphorically. He dangles the keys in front of you. Main character snags the keys and tries to use it, only to not even be the right keys. And then he points at you being like, you thought, you fucking idiot. You thought, you thought I was being real. You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, or that time where he knows that he absolutely beats Luffy, and he tries to make sure just by dropping him off at a height that is sure to kill anyone.
Dude, Luffy should have died like 5 times in this arc.
Oh no, he should have, but no, he was fighting like a crackhead.
Holy crap, dude. Like, Crocodile was super right in his moves on, like, disposing of Luffy in the ways he did, but, like, Luffy just kept going.
Yeah.
What is bro's problem?
No, because that's when you think that Luffy didn't have any water to beat Crocodile with. He just started using his blood.
That moment was great.
Yeah, but at that moment, it's like what was going through Crocodile's mind is, what kind of normal person would even do that?
I guess it's worth mentioning what Luffy did when he got to Rain Dinners, which was he showed up at his fucking palace essentially and was like, "Hey, where's Crocodile? I want to kick his fucking ass."
Yeah.
Which is so different because Vivi was like, "Let's be careful. Let's try not to do this." Luffy's like, "Nah, where is he? Come on, 1v1 me right now."
Nah, he wants all that smoke.
That moment was great. Speaking of smoke, Smoker and Tashigi are also here, so we gotta deal with that problem as well.
Yeah. He was like a minor ally in that.
It was kind of cool because he had some moments now to actually have some banter between Luffy and really Smoker and the other Straw Hats that were in that cage.
Yeah.
You kind of had a little nice back and forth. And you eventually see Smoker like letting him go towards the end of this part too, where he's like, Smoker's like, fuck this, I gotta figure out some shit right now, and kind of leaves like Tashigi to kind of handle everything.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, towards the end, Tashigi lets them go because she realizes that her ideals aren't worth what will directly benefit a country like Alabasta.
Yeah, and this was like the sole realization that the Straw Hats are doing a lot more good than the Marines are.
Yes, they did it better than. Well, I mean, this was more. This point was more nailed down than in Locktown, which is
Yeah.
which is great because even Tashigi and Smoker are so interesting within the Marine system because you
Mhm.
see that they actively rebel against it, but they're still stuck in it. And in a moment like Alabasta, you start to see why good people like them can't really follow the Marines correctly.
Yeah. Since the since the Marines aren't meant to be aren't meant to be the good guys. They're meant to be the hand that the world government throws at people when they
Exactly.
want stuff done.
Exactly. And I think this would what makes Smokers and Tashigi's role important within Alabasta to show that off.
Mhm.
But putting that aside for a moment, you get a confrontation where Vivi tries to escape. Miss Sunday confronts her, only to be interjected by Pell, who gets his ass kicked by Miss Sunday. Holy shit. So this moment was more to establish Miss Sunday's power level, that she is capable of her own right.
Mhm.
And I have a theory that I feel the reason why Oda picked Miss Sunday's power is because Oda wanted to get better at drawing hands, so he forced the character to grow multiple hands.
Oh, that's one way to put it about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's not true, but I like to think that's my headcanon.
Yeah, yeah, but her powers are pretty brutal in the way she uses it.
Oh yeah, especially against Pell. Holy shit.
Mhm.
uh, but yeah, you get introduced to like Vivi's other like schmucks who are what's his other again? There's also a guy called Chaka, but I don't know. I don't got much to say about Chaka. What I do have a bit more to say is about dance powder and how it's kind of a
A horrible.
interesting it is horrible, but interesting
Yeah,
technology because it kind of reminds me of like nukes in a way, but not one to one, where whoever has it kind of holds both power and accountability. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
There's stuff to say about rain or not sorry, dance powder, but the words are not coming to my mind right now.
mhm.
They definitely feel like a metaphor for resources because we've seen
Yeah,
how dance powder drains the resources from the sky essentially.
yeah. Don't know. Yeah, don't know what other technology we could use in real life as an analog to this.
It really does accumulate to a lot of things at once, and I think that's why I really like dance powder
Yeah.
because it kind of takes a little bit from all resources.
Hmm. Yeah. I think it's kind of like similar to steroids in a way where it stimulates the growth in something, but it doesn't really create it out of nowhere. It's got to take from something to the person's detriment.
It is kind of playing with the what is it, the finite nature of it all,
Yeah.
and kind of like I don't know, I guess leave stuff more naturally. It's that sort of thing. Don't force
Mhm.
nature into things because they won't always like work for you. A little bit like
Yeah.
dams, honestly.
In a way, but
Not a
dams
perfect.
are but dams aren't that detrimental though.
Not compared to dance powder.
Yeah, yeah. But I'd say dams are pretty beneficial since it controls the flow of water
For
to a
humans,
degree.
certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. And nature, since you know how bad floods can get it's left when rainwater is left unchecked.
Yeah. Depends on the dam, but There can be
Yeah,
there can be some good cases and bad cases.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Because if you read about like the Texas floodings, and that yeah, that flood went out of control in just like a few minutes.
Yikes, that's scary.
But yeah, but anyways, yeah, that dance powder is really bad.
Good cap on that.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I mean, it just makes a desert into more of a desert since you're just draining whatever moisture is left on there.
Also having it kind of puts accountability on you now, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
Because it exists, now people assume that the royals are using it for wrongful needs, even
yeah,
though
but
they didn't.
in actuality, it's just Baroque works, just using it for their own agenda.
Yeah, it's crazy how
Hmm.
uh how uh how intrinsically tied Dance Powder is to Alabasta. I think it's a really great piece of world building. But that aside, the plan goes into motion. You see Bon Clay imitate the king. All the pieces start to come together, and this is where you start seeing Crocodile as kind of a mastermind of his own right.
Yeah, yeah, he's a very good schemer.
Even though people criticize this plan, it's like all right, whatever. But
Hmm.
look what's happening on screen, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
But after that, even though the Straw Hats were about to drown, plus Smoker, Sanji solos a fucking massive fucking beast with a single kick. As One Piece is. Luffy tries to confront Crocodile, gets his ass kicked, gets saved in the process. I forgot
yep,
by who. I think something slings him on there, but I forgot what it was.
yeah, and yeah, and Luffy had to do the run back on Crocodile for about like 4 or 5 times. I forget how many times it was.
He gave it his shot many times.
Yeah,
But yeah, beyond that, they get on this smug ass fucking crab who never changes his expression unless Nami is teasing him. I don't know how to feel about that as a character, but you know what? This has been one of the most memorable animal characters, so I'll give him credit for what it's due. Even though I can't stand his fucking face.
I mean, hey, that's what makes him memorable.
True. All right. Whew, I'm losing my voice now, but we're almost done.
Yeah,
Alabasta Part 3. And this is kind of where the war starts happening. Right. So Rain
yeah.
Dinners wasn't in the capital. It was, I think, in an offshoot city. And now they were getting to the capital. That's right.
Mhm.
That's what it was. Okay, I was mixing it up. So yeah,
Yeah,
now they're getting to the capital. This is where everything starts kind of coming together.
yeah. And the part where BB starts completely losing her shit when it all starts going down.
Yeah, that one was rough to see, man. Dear Lord.
Yeah,
There was a one scene where he was trying to talk to Koza, but because bullets were flying, they completely missed, I guess, seeing each other.
hmm,
So now kind of the moment for peace was kind of gone. Once the emotional stakes are established, you and all the villains were established previously. This is when you start seeing kind of the pair offs, who's gonna fight who. And I think the arc started with Usopp, didn't it? With Mr. Was it Mr. Four and Usopp?
I don't think it was Mr. Four.
And Miss Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I think it was mostly was Mr. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it was both of them technically because it came as a pair. And I think
Yeah,
Usopp was fighting with Chopper. But this fight was weird because Usopp was like getting really battered and hurt.
yeah. I mean, Usopp was mostly bullshitting the fight.
I mean, bro was getting electrocuted, like hit like a bat, like some of the most damaging things I've ever seen in One Piece, and he didn't go down.
Yeah,
Which is crazy because you've seen characters die to something like a shotgun. Or like not even a shotgun, like a pistol. I don't know. The damage is a little weird, but you know, whatever. Usopp wins the fight with sheer raw determination, and I think he outsmarted Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas in some way, but I forgot how.
Uh, hmm. I think they got blown up.
I remember they did it with like self-inflicting damage, but I forgot how they did it. Well, whatever. It's not too important.
Hmm.
Um, the fight with Sanji and Bon Clay was amusing because you got to
Yeah,
see
well,
Sanji's weakness towards women be used against them.
yeah. Well, using an actual character flaw in a fight.
It was pretty good, and I think it was kind of cool. Like towards the end, both Bon Clay and Sanji kind of respected each other.
Mhm.
Which, you know, I guess Bon Clay is one of the more respectable Baroque Works members, so it kind of checks out. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about the Bon Clay versus Sanji fight, even though people really like it. Do you have anything else to add?
Uh, it was it was pretty interesting to see how hard into his morals Sanji is when it comes to not hitting women, especially if it's a dude pretending to be a woman.
Yeah, and I think this is the one where you see it the hardest too.
Yeah. I'd say it's like the second most hardest. The first is like way into the future.
Oh well, we'll get to that when it gets there.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, but he has people covering for him on that one, so
Yeah,
it's not as bad.
yeah, this moment's pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah.
but like I mentioned before, I think my favorite character, favorite Straw Hat in Baroque Works was Nami. I think this is the first time you really get to see Nami use her intelligence and navigation as a weapon. And the weapon she got, I think, really suited her kit and who she was. Where she can kind of play around with like wind and weather patterns and everything. Like this is like yes, this is Nami. She should be able to use her knowledge to her advantage.
Yeah,
I have nothing else to say about Miss Doublefinger as a character because she's just kind of meant there to be an obstacle. That's really all there is
mhm,
to it. But I did find it
yeah,
amusing that she was still damning Usopp, being like, "How I can't believe it! You didn't give me shit that works." Until she finally got one tool that actually kind of helped.
yeah. Since initially when Usopp gave her, yeah, her weapon, it was mostly full of party tricks.
Yeah, but it also kind of comes to show that Usopp can make things that really help out the crew. He is
Yeah.
useful in some way or form. But yeah, no. Again, it's good that Nami got an obstacle to overcome that is
Hmm.
more physical in nature to show her determination to the
Yeah.
cause.
I mean, oh yeah. No, it definitely does require a lot of her mentality than her physicality.
Yeah, which again kind of suits her.
Hmm.
Um, Going on beyond that, people will really like the Mister One and Zoro fight, and I can understand why. Because this is a what is it?
A sword fight.
A sword fight, and it kind of shows off how strong Zoro can get in trying to overcome obstacles. But to me, that's really all the fight was just Zoro yelling at a wall until he finally is good enough. I guess seeing the calmness towards the end of that fight, right, where it all kind of clicks, was really cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, at the end of the day, it was just Zoro saying, "Yeah, I can cut metal too now."
Yeah.
Unless you have
Well,
something else to add.
nah. I mean, nah, it's a simple premise. I mean, it'll be like, oh, I could cut through metal. I could cut through anything, as long as my mind I is into it.
Yeah, I did like that one line that Mister One and Zoro exchange, which is Mister One I think was telling him like, um, so what's next? You gonna cut diamonds? And then Zoro replied with, "Nah, that'd be too expensive."
Yeah.
Calling Mister One trash. Anyways, Yeah, that moment was great. And with that, like, there's a weird moment where like you're dealing with the top 5 Baroque Works agents, and they're all just kind of gone now. Mister Three
Mhm.
eventually got like wiped out later on, but I forgot exactly when. He's kind of a footnote, really. I think somewhere in the underground jail. I forgot where Mister Five went, but I don't think that really matters.
I think so. I can't remember how Mr. Three got taken down. I thought it was like through Sanji.
It might have been Sanji. Yeah, he was kind of a footnote, really.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we have Mister Seven and Miss Father's Day be the ones that are actually part of the bomb plan,
Hmm.
which was felt a little bit out of nowhere, but like whatever. I'll I'll roll along with the bomb plot. I kind of skipped over it in pictures. Do you have anything to say about the bomb plot? Because I really didn't care that much. Besides Pell fucking blowing himself up.
Not too much.
Okay. So, all that stuff aside, get into the main course, which is Crocodile versus the most powerful version of Luffy ever, Water Luffy, which looks ridiculous.
I mean, hey, he's got to store all that water somewhere.
And I think this is the first time where we saw Miss Sunday genuinely laugh, not just kind of have a smirk.
Hmm.
And that shows a there was some foreshadowing there that went through people's head, myself included, if I've read the arc. But yeah, this fight was really cool because it was kind of structured like a Disney villain takedown, where you see the cocky villain thinking he can take someone down, even though at this point Crocodile is just fed up with seeing Luffy again. Um, you start to see like his slick back hair slowly fall apart, him getting more bruises, him getting more damage. Like you feel that takedown towards the very end is earned.
Yeah, especially since it would be really hard to take down Crocodile since he's out of his home turf here.
Yeah, and knowing that the weakness that Luffy ended up using, as you mentioned, is blood, has to be one of the rawest shits ever. That moment's great.
Yeah.
Uh, and how also Luffy has recognized being more careful with Crocodile's hands and whatever. Like you get to see all that run back kind of finally
Hmm.
come into fruition. Again, absolutely love it. Um, Miss Sunday also reads the poneglyphs here. I think are they called poneglyphs?
Poneglyphs.
Poneglyphs. Thank you. She reads the poneglyphs here, which is really funny because like she starts lore dumping a bunch of shit, and then I think Miss Sunday says something to the likes of, "This shit doesn't matter. There's nothing here that you're looking for," which is
Hmm.
really funny because people go back to that. From what I heard, they go back to those like, no, 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 that actually had really important lore. What are you talking about?
If
uh,
I mean, it's either that or she, or you're assuming that she was bluffing Crocodile.
do you think she could have been?
Well, think about this. She's the only translator out there that could read the poneglyphs. She could be
Hmm.
whatever. So she kind of has like the leeway.
That is an interesting theory I didn't think about.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Though.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna bring up something with Miss Sunday. Like, I do find it. This is where you kind of see a character shift with Miss Sunday as well, where
Mhm.
she kind of towards the end when the whole place is collapsing, she kind of says, "Yeah, you can just leave me here to die. Whatever."
Hmm.
There
Yeah.
is kind of a non like it shows that she's not really like selfish.
Yeah. Or there's like a bit of nihilism.
And I well, it's we'll later go on to know that it's actually both.
Yeah.
It's both selflessness and nihilism, similar to Sanji, but to turn up the nihilism a little more. But you were going to bring up something. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Please,
Hmm.
unless you forgot what you were
Oh, I
going to
was gonna
say.
say. Yeah, I was gonna say something about like Crocodile's actual goal in Alabasta, aside from taking over the country.
What was his goal again? Can you remind me?
Um, Oh, he wants to find the location of Pluton.
Yes, that's right. That's right. He wants to have the ultimate superpower weapon, so nothing can
Yeah.
oppose him. And that's why he gets frustrated. Like, what do you mean? This is my entire plan. Take over Alabasta and then have a kingdom where I can fucking do my shit however I like it. I guess we didn't bring up, but like Crocodile is also revealed to be a seven warlords of the sea, kind of on
Yeah.
the same
Which,
level as Mihawk.
yeah. Which you can kind of see that he didn't earn that title for nothing.
Yeah, yeah. But it's crazy. I think Mihawk is like way stronger than Crocodile, but that's only because of the opponent that Crocodile fought, which was Luffy.
Yeah. But there's also like there's individual strengths with Mihawk, and then there's strength in having an organization like Crocodile.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And being a planner, I suppose. So yeah, Mihawk's power comes more in his ability to plan things out, which would have succeeded.
Wait, you mean Crocodile? You said Mihawk.
Crocodile. Sorry, I'm mixing myself up. Crocodile does have great ability to plan stuff out, but as we saw, the flukes with Sanji is what kind of ended up biting him in the ass.
I mean, to be fair, he did plan everything out. It's just that there are things that were out of his control that he didn't take account for.
Yeah, yeah. Would
If
have
he knew
succeeded.
Sanji was there, this would have gone a whole lot different.
Yeah, easily. But yeah, Crocodile gets his shit kicked in, fucking flown to the sky.
Yep.
And right as that happens, thematically, the rain starts pouring down. It's like, damn, look at
Yeah.
Oda putting in his world building and writing it into its story feelings or its story themes. That shit's so fucking good.
Hmm.
Because it also shows that like because water is Crocodile's weakness, it's also weakening him at the same time. That people are thriving again. I don't know, man. That ending is so good for Alabasta, man. And it just keeps pouring on for days and days and days. Fuck, I love that Alabasta ending so much.
At least it had like a proper happy ending, rather than say, oh, now that the big bad guy's gone, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, you get to see a moment where everyone kind of reconciles and the war stops and everything. Like everything kind of gets stitched back together as much as they can, which is great. Um, later on, sure, you get the little goofy moment of uh the Marines are after us, and we know that that Vivi is hiding the Straw Hats from the world government,
Yeah.
which I think the presence of the world government gets established here, and the Marines of like
Oh,
having
and the
power over
Marines
the
were taking
monarchs.
and the Marines were taking credit of Crocodile's defeat.
Yeah. So
Oh
you
yeah.
start seeing some things
Oh yeah.
get playing into here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Smoker did not feel good about that at all when he was given credit for Crocodile's defeat.
Nope. And in this moment, people thought that Vivi was gonna join the Straw Hats, like officially.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, oh no, but it's just that her role as a princess is it's what's holding her back.
Yeah, it was more important to her. So she ended up declining and selfishly say, if I ever join back up with you guys, make sure to still refer to me as a Straw Hat.
Hmm.
And they all do that pose
Yeah.
at the very end, being like, I guess saluting Vivi is like, we're always here with you, with the fucking X mark that they had from Bon Clay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, the ending where Bon Clay had to cover everyone's asses at the end when they
That
were
moment was
escaping from the Marines.
that moment was great. It comes to show again that like Bon Clay wasn't really like in it for Crocodile.
No, but he was in it for like the friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, what a great ending to a massive arc where you see all this tension, all this world building finally accumulate to the very ending. Man, I love Alabasta.
Well, I can't wait to see your reaction to the other arcs in
Yeah,
the
Sky
future.
Petey right afterwards, which I heard is a very exciting arc from what everyone's been telling me.
Hmm. A bit of a lore drop too, but that's just world building.
Yeah. Dude, I am so out of breath. I talked about One Piece so much.
Hmm.
Uh, do you want to add anything? And do you have any closing thoughts actually about Alabasta, or maybe just want to meander about anything in particular about up until here about the Baroque works ending?
Mm,
Any
not,
scenes you want to bring up that I didn't talk about?
let's see.
Do you care anything about Mr. Eight if you want, or Miss Monday?
Great. No, no. I was a little bit surprised on the fake out on Pell's death.
Yeah, that was weird. But then
Yeah,
again,
because I thought
no one dies in One Piece unless you're a mom.
yeah, yeah, because I thought he was absolutely dead at first when he took that bomb into the sky.
Same. But no, he's fine. just like Usopp. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, unless it's like a absolutely obvious looking death blow, you're not gonna die.
Yeah. Mr. Six didn't show up either, or Miss Mother's Day.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if people care, but those Baroque work agents are still out there. Who knows how strong they are
Hmm.
or what their relevance are, but they're out there.
Yeah, they are.
Um, it's funny.
But
Go ahead.
oh no, but I was gonna say, but I guess there's also like the cover chapters,
Oh yeah,
or
I didn't talk
yeah,
about those much.
yeah. No, I guess we're kind of like this far into the podcast, so I guess it might be a little bit too late to talk about it, huh?
I mean, the Django had his moment, and he came back in Alabasta finally after
Yeah.
him having a disco battle with the judges that granted him freedom from what he did,
Mm.
or a pardon.
Yeah.
And you had
Well,
an underwater
and
journey with Arlong's former pirate,
yeah. Oh yeah, and full body got demoted.
and Full Body got demoted. Yes,
Yeah, so you got Django and full body like being fellow cadets with each other.
yes, yes. So those were those moments, and those were amusing. Not as
Yeah, they were.
I think that the Django one was way more amusing in my opinion
Mm.
because you got to see a character roll around. But I don't know. I'll see how the rest of them stack up once I get to their moments.
All right.
Yeah, I think I was gonna bring up as like I was like, oh yeah, no, like Miss Sunday just sort of disappears once Alabasta ends. Like
Yeah,
she's like, where'd she go? I don't
kind of. I
know.
I believe she's still gonna have her story, but in the cover stories.
Interesting. Yeah, some of the Baroque work agents are out there
Hmm.
still not having that much closure, but yeah, I assume they're gonna get brought up sooner or later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, taking time to reflect on it. Do you have anything to add about Alabasta that we might have brought up
Mm.
again?
Oh, I don't know. It's like I don't really have like any complaints about the story. I think it's like a yeah, I think it's like a fantastic story that starts showing starts showing certain characters' growth. Like like Nami putting her putting the work in despite not being a fighter.
Yeah. Is Alabasta one of your favorite arcs, or is it kind of more on the oh, it's good, but not my favorite?
Oof. Well, it is good, but it's not my favorite.
Interesting. So even beyond this, there's still better arcs then.
Yeah, yeah, there is.
Well, looking forward to seeing those. All right.
But
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, but yeah, I think I'll let you know my favorite arc in the future when we get to it.
Oh boy, can't wait for that then. All right, how about we close down the podcast? Whew.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this long-winded, uh, I guess, review on Alabasta. I have been your host, Hazar, and with me today was Phoenix.
Yep. It's been good, guys.
All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful time continuing One Piece without me as I try to catch up slowly. And once I eventually buy the Skypedia box set, we'll make another podcast for Skypedia and beyond.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks everyone once again for joining us. Don't get lost out there. And matane. Bye bye.
All right, see you around.